What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all new review of an all new show. Love and Marriage Detroit has premiered last week. I am late, but let's get into it. Carlos King, that's his new show. He's from Detroit. He decided to make a show based off of his hometown. He was narrating in the background of his love of Detroit, how it's a Motown music city. And let's get into it. The three new couples that represents Detroit to the fullest. We have Brandon and Christina. They've been married for 11 years. It all started when they met on Facebook, and less than 6 months of dating, they got married. She moved to Detroit 4 days before the wedding, and it's been a roller coaster. Brandon is also an owner of Stark Factory, which is a artist development studio. They have two beautiful daughters, Brenton and Bailey. Christina is a social media influencer, image consultant, and fashion designer. She's been in the fashion industry for over 10 years. She used to style Brandon's clients, but not anymore. We're going to find out why. Russell and Kobe been married for 3 years. She's a content creator. Majority of her content is about family, fashion, and home. Russell runs a nonprofit organization called SOAR that focuses on literacy and sports. He is a Army National Guard as well. They also have a beautiful daughter. And we have Dr. Latoya Thompson. She is a sports physical therapist and the owner of Opulence Wines. Her husband, Anthony Thompson. He works for a touring company and he owns a production studio. They have 3 children. They met at Michigan State University. They have been married for 14 years. Long time to be with a man like Anthony. And she wasn't even sure if she should marry him. I'm beginning to understand why. But the way he won her over was buying her a dog. And in return, the dog did not like him. So when they opened up the scene of us getting to know the couples, they were arriving at a Father's Day barbecue. Anthony and Brandon have known each other for 20 years. Latoya and Kobe are sorority sisters. Don't know which sorority, but they haven't really had a friendship, but this is their time. But they opened up with a Vegas trip that one of their friends recently came from. Brandon wanted to make it obvious that he couldn't go because Christina told him not to go. Russell wanted to know why he couldn't go because Christina wanted to know who was all going. And when she found out who was all going, he couldn't go. Now, he did not ask her because he don't ask, but he don't like getting questioned either. So since he got so many questions, he felt as though, okay, it's no point in me going because I don't want to go no more. So you're trying to flip it as if Christina did not have a right to question you why you should go. You want to be like, well, it didn't matter. I wasn't going anyway because I didn't like being questioned. Okay, I see. So in that moment for me, Brandon wanted to embarrass Christina by putting her out there that she don't let him go anywhere, but there's a reason why. But since you don't want your shit out there as to why you can't go nowhere, you want to embarrass her like she's the bad guy. And Anthony, not liking him already. Anthony has a group called the Men's Movement, which is for men to have a space to speak up and stand up for themselves, which means a group of men talk shit about their wives and how to get their wives to just listen to what they have to say. That's all it is to me. Anthony comes in saying that he's taking Brandon on a guy's trip. And I don't like his tone towards Christina when she's saying, are you telling me, you asking me? Anthony looks at her with the energy that he should not give to a woman, that I'm not asking you. I'm telling you we're going. She said, okay, well, not you, my husband. Are you telling me or are you asking me? Brandon got on my nerves at that point when she looked at him and said, are you telling me? He wanted to act stupid. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I hate when niggas do that shit. You right here, and your friend is telling me you going on a trip, and you don't think you should say something to me? You want to be like, I can't. Men be acting so fucking stupid when they're asked a simple question, and it's annoying as hell. It's like talking to a child, and everybody is witnessing. There's tension between the two of them. Russell says Kobe would never talk to her that way. Okay, Russell, sure, she won't, but everybody's household is different. But based off of how the rest of this episode turned out, none of y'all are perfect. Everyone y'all got issues. Brandon wanted somebody on his side to understand where he was coming from when he wants to ask Latoya, do you allow for Anthony to do what he want to do? She said no, he don't do what he wants to do. But he wanted to reverse psychology her by saying in the Bible, the man does this and da da da. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Anthony. So he said, I can't go anywhere without getting 21 questions. Well, with the history that Christina was subtly putting out there this episode, there's a reason why you get asked 21 questions. Because truthfully, you move sneaky. Listen, like I said, your household is how your household is ran. If your wife wants details about where you going, who you going with, there's nothing wrong with you telling her that. That's the whole thing with the asking and telling. Now, you are a grown adult. You can make your own decisions, but you should still show respect to your partner by letting them know what's going on. Give them the details. So when it happens, they can know where you at, they can check in, and you could be cool. If you don't want to tell them all the information, let them know where you're going, who you're going with, what time you're going, what time you're coming back. Yeah, I got a reason to believe you up to no good at that point. So that's why she keeps saying there's history where she don't trust where you're going, she don't trust who you're going with, and she don't trust how you're going to handle yourself. And all I'm hearing is Anthony tell Christina in front of Brandon, I'm taking him out on a guy's trip and there's nothing you can do about it. Anthony, sit the fuck back. Why do you give so much energy to Christina about what she needs to get from her husband? Is Brandon your husband or is Brandon Christina's husband? Latoya, get your man. He's doing too much for me. And there's something deep between the two of them. He's done some things in the past that she has been trying to get over, but that's caused more questions. He wants to blame her that he don't feel trust and support. Well, obviously, it's hard to give you trust and support when you've been shady. Brandon is in his factory working with a new artist. I believe her name is Nija. When he started Star Factory 17 years ago, he wanted to have the Motown feel from Detroit. Now, he's giving her advice on how to sing the song, make it sound more singer instead of a rapper. And when Christina calls, he hurried up and says, take a break. So he's acting all fidgety, skittish, and nervous because he recently signed Nija that's in the studio, but did not tell Christina because he's waiting for the right time to tell her, which means he's done questionable things in the past with female artists that works for him. And right now, you are worried about getting caught sneaking around with another artist that you did not tell your wife about. She's just calling him, asking him, how's he doing? Haven't heard from you all day. What's up? What's going on? You recording? Yeah, I'm recording. Like, what's up? What you calling me for? You are mad that your wife is calling you to check in on you? Because he doesn't want to get caught while sneaking around with another artist that he did not tell her. So he's trying to be disrespectful. He's trying to cause an argument. He's trying to hurry and get her off the phone so he doesn't get caught. He's blaming her about how his flow is getting down and I don't know why you calling me. This is why he don't like getting questioned because he does things that are questionable. He's done things that are inappropriate. The fact that you are acting so skittish and nervous, trying to rush your wife off the phone for her asking simple questions is very telling to me. It means you cheated around with another artist and now you're worried about that can happen again and you're going to get caught again. So once the hurry and rush off the phone, can I get back to my session, please? Because my flow, my zone right now is starting to dwindle down and I don't know if I should just cancel it or not because you calling me for this. Calling you to ask you when you coming home is a problem? For real? And she said, ew, my bad. I'll let you get to it. All right, fine, bye. I would have just hung up as soon as he says I'm bringing his flow down. I did not mean to bother you. Me being the wife who's watching your kids is wondering when my husband's coming home. Like, are you kidding me right now? Did you forget you a husband, Brandon? Did you forget you got a wife and kids at home? Oh, so you want to keep that separation where you are a single man working in the studio with your artist and then leave that behind, keep that separate and be a family man? Makes no sense. It's giving Stevie J, Jocelyn, and Mimi. It's giving Tara, Peter, and Amina. That's what it's giving to me. It's giving Love and Hip Hop. The fact that you want to be one way with someone you're working with and then you want to be the other way with your wife. And it's some bullshit to me. I don't like Brandon. Apparently, Christina has felt that he's put in the company in front of his marriage and his kids. Then had the nerve to try to gaslight her by saying if I was loved more, appreciated more, catered to, I would have readjusted my schedule for me to be home. You don't want to play on her intelligence and gaslight her by saying if I was appreciated more and loved more and catered to, I would adjust my schedule to be home with you. She's like, what are you talking about? You don't even come home. You don't come home to get all of that. So what you talking about? How you want to say a man works 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And it's like, okay, so you working. You want a cookie for working? You do realize that you have a wife and 2 kids at the house who wants to spend time with you, and you're not trying to balance that. Don't gaslight her into making her think she don't give you time. The way you throw out the things she don't do, it tells me that you be complaining to what she doesn't do with your artist, and it gives your artist a way to blur those lines of not being professional to being unprofessional, and you're crying on their shoulders to be like the big man on campus because they give you that feel, but your wife don't, because she's holding you accountable for being responsible. She's holding you accountable of how you fucked up the last time. Okay, Brandon. Okay. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. Anthony is doing practice drills with his son, football drills, because Anthony is very passionate about sports. Sports kept Anthony out of trouble when he was growing up, and he's very grateful that he was in sports. And sports should be something that a kid should at least try. I agree. Dr. Latoya comes in, and they talk about they have a lot of traveling coming up. They have to travel back to Napa to get her wine started. Her wine got started in 2015 because she loved how wine was created, how the grapes got into the glass. Her husband Anthony has been fully on board with getting everything done, all the business stuff out the way. He's the marketer, the assistant, the business partner, on top of everything, to have her wine be a success. And with traveling to Napa, he also mentions that they have to travel to Atlanta, meaning him, to meet with some people. Meeting who? He had an opportunity to work with Disney and Marvel in Atlanta, but that was at the peak of the pandemic. So without having a conversation, without telling her, he jumped to Atlanta at the height of the pandemic for that opportunity, left her behind with 3 kids, virtual schooling, a hospital full of patients, and that was a lot on her. The fact of the matter is, though, Anthony, why would you jump to go to Atlanta when at the height of the pandemic there was nothing open? Nobody was going anywhere. Shortage of everything. Shortage of food, water, toilet paper, Clorox wipes. You honestly think there was a open opportunity to do anything with Marvel and Disney when there was nothing open? So why did you go to Atlanta? For what? And the fact that she had to deal with 3 kids, virtual schooling, her being in the hospital with patients, making sure she's clean, she's scrubbed, that she don't bring nothing from the hospital to her kids, and you are living your life in Atlanta. When it was discovered that he left without telling her, she told him, if you don't bring your ass back home, we're talking of a divorce. And what did he do? He brought his ass back home. It was very selfish of him and very inconsiderate. And he just went to Atlanta without any thought, any care of how his wife would feel, how his kids would feel. The fuck? He said he kind of gets it. He says he kind of gets it with her being with the kids by herself and working then with the pandemic. But at the same time, you get it when it comes to the kids. But do you also understand that there was no conversation? There was no communication as to how we're going to move forward. I hear you. These opportunities are big. They come around dime a dozen. But at the same time, it's not going to work if you don't have your wife's support. If you're not including her in what you're doing, that's supposed to better the family. Is it better in the family, or is it better in you? I feel like you probably hold some resentment to her because she did tell you to bring your ass back home, because you probably wouldn't even last in Atlanta by yourself anyway. You wouldn't have known what to do. So the fact you want to probably throw it in her face that you could have worked with Marvel and Disney, is it because you yourself see yourself in a competition with your wife on how to be the better breadwinner? Be the one who has the most money? That's what I'm seeing it as. At the same time, it won't be like that unless there's communication, unless there's conversation. And he talks about, back in the day, there was an opportunity for the father to take on, the wife was going on with it. Well, we're not in back in the day. We're in 2023, where there's conversation, there's communication. It's not just your job to think about. I have to look at my job, and I look at the kids, which is what you're not thinking about. Yeah, I don't like Anthony. Anthony has a male chauvinistic mindset of the 1930s, 1950s, when women don't have the right to vote, women don't have the right to express their concerns, and as if women don't bring nothing to the table, which in all honesty, Dr. Latoya is bringing more than what she is bringing to the table. She has a doctorate degree. She works in physical therapy. She holds more cards than Anthony, and I feel like he's holding some resentment and is probably a little bit intimidated by that. So now he wants to make her feel bad about how she's not supporting him. And she's reading through what he's trying to say. She said, stop doing that. Stop. Trying to say, am I Team Thompson? If I wasn't on Team Thompson, I wouldn't have been here. At the same time, I am looking at everything, which is what you're not thinking about. You were not thinking about everything when you decided to go to Atlanta and leave back at home with 3 kids and my job. And you cannot always throw it in her face that she made you come back home after you left home without telling her. Miss me, Anthony. Miss me. You want to be the big man, but you can't because your wife holds more cards than you. Moving on. We get Brandon. Brandon and Christina's 11-year anniversary has arrived. There's no way they would have made it past 5 years, but she still loves him. She's still sticking by him when he gives her so many reasons as to why she should not be with him. He loves his family. His wife definitely deserves the world. So he blinds her, takes her to a lavender farm, which was very, very nice, very, very sweet. Coming to a romantic dinner, but it's with the cast. I figured based off of how you made her feel bad about calling you at your studio and you wanted to have an argument, I would have thought you would have had a better way of making it up to her by having a romantic dinner for the 2 of y'all. But for you to have a romantic dinner with the cast is like, okay, cute but not cute. Why the cast here? Alright, so seeing how romantic that Brandon had it set up, he had a Artistic Live band, which was cool. Russell says he's not as romantic as he think he is. And she said, you're not. He said, I barbecue, I grill, I do certain things you like, especially when we come to playing games. What kind of games? Oh, you mean the games we play in bed? Yeah, that's not romantic, Russell. Come and start again. So they are all sitting around, and then everybody gets their plate of food. Colby said she thought she had it the salmon. But Russell said, you eat what I eat, which is steak and potatoes. Here go Anthony in the background, clapping to Russell, standing up to his wife about, you don't get an option. You eat what I eat. I'm just like, what? That's nothing, that to me, that's not something to laugh at. And LaToya knows how her husband does make those chauvinistic comments, but she don't say nothing. It makes everybody uncomfortable. I'm not laughing at my husband telling me I eat what he eats. If I don't want steak and potatoes and want salmon, I'm eating salmon. Anthony has the idea of what a man is. His idea of what a man is a man who says and does everything and the wife follows along. Not gonna happen. You want to marry a robot? Go find a robot. I'm not a robot. So he mentions his He-Man's Woman Haters Club, aka the Man Movement. And Christina was wondering, have you always been a male chauvinist? He said, I'm not, but that's where you're wrong. The way that he gives off this tone, this energy towards women, it's just like, it gives off you have no problem being in relationships with women, but you secretly don't like them. I wonder if it's because the women that he's around have a lot more than him. Like, he's intimidated by strong women. He's intimidated by career-driven women is what I'm getting. Because he'll always go back and forth with what a woman lacks, but he'll always go up for what a man is versus then what a man needs to fix. You see what I'm saying? So Christina and Colby feels like Anthony's a whole different type of vibe. Like, he is talking, and when they call out on the jokes that he makes, he says they're reading too much into it. They shouldn't take his jokes seriously. But I find it funny, you got mad at Dr. LaToya for saying how you want to have a bromance with Brandon on your guys trip. You got offended. You got upset. Talking about how his man bun, why is his man bun being involved? Who mentioned his man bun? Nobody didn't. So you wanted to get offended over your wife joking about how you want to have just a long time with Brandon, but you want to tell the girls they shouldn't take your joke seriously? Okay. So then the He-Man Woman Haters Club, the male movement, is about teaching men how to lead, be successful, and it's kind of like blah, 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 blah. I'm with Christina. Anthony likes to talk a good game. He likes to say a whole bunch of words that in his mind, it sounds good, but it's a bunch of bullshit. So, opening up to Anthony talking about the way the men needs to do this, the way the men needs to do that, he bigs up how much Brandon was at the top of his game. He was the big man on campus. He was doing big things and going places. But then he wanted to make it sound so sour when he met Christina. I'm just kind of like, is he for real? Did you just say that? Anthony, are you really blaming Christina on Brandon's lack of success? Or how he's not as successful as he should be? So, you're blaming Christina while trying to build up that Brandon should be further along in his career than he should be because of Christina. I wish my man would allow his male friends to say anything to me about how I'm holding my man back. I'm not supporting him on his dreams, putting my effort into helping him achieve his passion, achieve his goals. I wish my man would sit there and allow his friend to come at me. You're not my husband's wife. I am. I'm his wife. I know what he wants. I know what he dreams of. And I help him. I support him. Brandon, check your friend. Brandon, check your friend. She says, I'm never holding my husband back. And Brandon, why is that any of your concerns about what Brandon needs to be doing? Why are you so confused as to what's going on in their household? Step the fuck back. I swear, the way he talks about Brandon, the way he sounds so obsessed with Brandon, you would think he's in love with Brandon. I'm sorry to say that because that's how it felt. You spent this entire time, the remainder of the episode, talking about how Brandon is this type of guy. Brandon is the big man on campus, all this and that, in front of his wife and in front of your wife too. Your wife should look at you sideways. Why are you happy about talking about this man? What's up with that? Then he brings up that Christina don't allow for Brandon to go out to the clubs. There's a reason why. She don't trust the club scene. She don't trust him. There's history. Yes, he's in the industry, but there's multiple ways he can scout artists, scout up and coming singers, then just go into the club. Regarding the history, the past, that's the problem. Okay? So he wants to make Christina feel bad about not trusting him to go to the clubs. Well, if he does questionable things, then I don't trust him. Anthony, you strike me as the type of man who will always go after a woman or what she's not allowing for her husband to do instead of checking your man, checking your friend on what he's doing that's causing his wife to feel this way. The way that Brandon acts when he's not around Christina is causing her to feel insecure. It's causing her to feel like she can't trust him. And I want Anthony to sit the fuck back. Okay? I want Anthony to sit all the way back. Colby opens up that Russell don't like the clubs, and he wanted to explain it himself. Anthony was going to chime in and come at Colby, but Russell said, I got this. Yes, I don't like the clubs either. Like Latoya, I'm going to need for you to rule your husband. Anthony, sit back. Everybody's household is not like yours, but you act like you run the household, and I feel like Dr. Latoya runs the household. Christina says he's a grown-ass man. He can make his own decisions. Yes, there's a different meaning when we say you can go if you want to. It's up to you. I'm not going to stop you. It can mean certain things. Just like Anthony, who wants to keep on bringing up that Dr. Latoya told him if you don't bring his ass home, we're getting a divorce. He brought his ass back home. So he shows resentment to Dr. Latoya for checking him on, you think you can handle this without me? You think you can go out off to Atlanta without me being there supporting you, taking care of you? Go ahead and do it. If you don't bring your ass back home, that's where it's going to be. And what did he do? Brought his ass back home. So it's kind of like you can miss me with that. Miss me. And Latoya, I'm going to need for you to speak up, sis. You sat there the entire time and watched your husband look like a complete ass. I don't know if you're doing that to make him look even more stupid, but you staying quiet, it's a little suspect to me. I didn't like that at all. And he was going back and forth with Christina about telling Brandon, don't let her hold you back. Don't let her suppress your dreams, man. Don't do that. It's kind of like, are you fucking kidding me? All of our lives as women, men have been able to have it easy for them to go out and achieve their dreams, achieve their goals without any responsibilities, without any hesitation. It be the women, the wives, who hold it down for y'all that can't have that freedom, can't have that space to do it. Get the fuck out of here. I really don't like how much energy Anthony is giving to Christina, and Brandon is not checking Anthony about how he's talking to his wife. He's just letting it happen. Because Brandon wants somebody else to give Christina what she gives him. Tell him everything what he's doing is wrong, and he expects for his right hand man, Anthony, to go after his wife. Oh, you ain't no type of man, Brandon. You's a weak ass man. You's a bitch made man like Anthony. I'm sorry to say, you and your man bun. And I feel like that should be understood. Anthony, you should not try to worry yourself and confuse of why Christina don't trust Brandon, as if you don't know what Brandon does, but you the type of man that will never call out what a man does that's wrong. You will instantly go after another woman of what she's not allowing. Since we're digging into their business, thanks to Anthony, who wanted to talk about Brandon's lack of success so bad because it's gone downhill ever since he married Christina, she keeps bringing up the history. The history. And since you think you know your boy so much, I'm letting you know there's some history about him that you do not know. Because he's like, wait a minute, you keep saying history. What's up with that? There's more to that? Yes, there's more to that you think you know. So Colby opens up with, okay, so are you working with a new female artist? And it's like, what you mean? What you mean what I mean? I hear you work with a new female artist. That lets you know Russell told his wife of what you told him. The cat's out the bag because Christina did not know that Brandon signed a new artist. But Brandon did not hesitate on telling his friends of what he was doing, and now he still hasn't told his wife. Russell ended up telling Colby, but did not tell her, don't say nothing, Christina doesn't know. Colby would not have said anything if she'd known Christina didn't know. And she would not have said it on their anniversary. But I feel like their entire anniversary was down to shit. Thanks to Anthony, thanks to Brandon. So instead of Brandon taking accountability that he signed a new artist, he wants to now blame Colby for ruining their anniversary and says, you have to come a little bit harder than that. I said, no. Don't flip it on her. Don't deflect. Take accountability and responsibility. You were so happy to tell your friends that you signed a new artist, but did not tell your wife. And now since you decided to bring your friends to your anniversary and your shit came out, your secret came out, now you want to say it's all Colby's fault? Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Saying how I wanted to present it at a different time. What time was that? The time that you should have told your wife you signed a new artist would have been right when you signed her. Not when it's been weeks later. The show is now filming. I have no idea what time you was looking for, sir. I really don't. And Russell, you going to allow for Brandon to say your wife was in the wrong when you the one who told her? Okay. So you're not going to come at your boys for putting your shit out there. You're going to come at the women. Got it. It reads all three of y'all will co-sign on your friend's bullshit and will blame the women. That's what I got. So Christina is still lost in the dark. Hello? You signed a new artist and I'm finding this out now on my anniversary? Saying how you want to blame our anniversary like this? Put everything out on Front Street, coming into our household. I'm like, Brandon, shut the fuck up. You brought everybody into your household when you decided to tell everybody but your wife that you signed a new female artist. Okay? Miss me. Anthony over here bigging you up how you supposed to be this big man on campus but tearing down your wife and you not saying nothing? Okay, you can miss me. You like to throw stones, but you can't throw stones at a glass house, sir. So, who's this new artist? Christina still wants to find out. Brandon wants to act stupid, like this is a hard question to answer by saying, she's a girl. She's pretty dope. What? So, is she signed for an album? She signed for a single? What's the whole rundown? Simple questions that you are avoiding answering. Because is there a reason why the way you met her could be a little bit funny? Could be a little bit sneaky, and you're not ready to answer those questions just yet? Let me know. So he wants to gaslight her, make her feel bad, like you act like I tell you everything, like I haven't signed any brand deals without you. Don't do that. Signing a brand deal is totally different than you signing a new female artist, giving your fucking history. Now, she finally talked about in the confessional, Brandon crossed the line with another female artist. She said he had an emotional affair with another artist. I'm thinking it was for a full-on affair. Full-on. It wasn't just emotional. It was physical as well. And it broke her to pieces. Not only did the affair broke her to pieces, it was with somebody that she knew. Somebody she took under her wing, befriended, helped out. And it's like, goddamn. That's how it took. That's how it happened, Brandon. Oh, you was a low down dirty bastard for that. He said, "I know we're moving forward. I'm not doing that again. If you weren't doing it again, you should have communicated with me when you signed her. That was the whole point of us moving forward. If you're doing anything out of the ordinary that's going to cause me to go back to how it was before, you need to communicate with me." I'm finding out on my anniversary that my husband signed a new female artist, given your history with female artists. Are you kidding me right now? She's not going back to how she thought she was in a happy marriage when it wasn't a happy marriage. I wonder how she found out, actually. We were trying to build something new. We were trying to do things differently. And now I'm getting shocked and surprised that you signed a new female artist and you didn't tell me. And now, since he did sign with a new female artist, she knows what's going to happen. He's going to spend more time with her, time away from her and the kids, after you were in conversations with your wife about spending more time with one another, making time for a date night, and you're going to be so consumed with the new female artist, she's in fear it's going to happen again. The whole time she's crying and crying and crying. Brandon wanted to take her to have a conversation, but either it cut out, but he walked away and left her crying. I said, are you kidding me right now, Brandon? I swear to God, this is literally reminding me of Love and Marriage Huntsville when it was the anniversary of Melon Martell and Tisha Marceau were talking about what's been going on, and Tisha wanted to open up of that obvious question, I've never dealt with infidelity, knowing that Mel and Martell were coming back from that. Oh my God, Carlos, what were your ideas? Because these are the same problematic men we're seeing from DC, we're seeing from Huntsville. What? What is this? Another show where the women are disrespected, mistreated, lied to, gaslit, manipulated. I mean, I know it's all in good show, but it's not going to always be good, Carlos, if you're always looking for ways to make women look bad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I mean, this was a good episode. It shows that more is going to come in the season. We're going to find out that Anthony is going to throw it in Dr. Latoya's face that he was the one who started her company by giving her the money when she said that's not true. We both put up the money. And Kobe is going to have to deal with Russell enrolling in divinity school. She said, I am not in the mood nor in the role of being the first lady. I did not sign up for that. More to come between Christina and Brandon. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. It really, really is. I'm down for it though. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.